Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be testing out viral TikTok hair hacks. So as you know, I am a hairdresser, and anytime I see these hair hacks, trust me, I'm just as in awe as you are. I will be honest, most of the hair cutting ones, that's where I'm the most skeptical. The whole like you bring your hair up and chop and you have like these beautiful cascading layers. No, do not try that. You know how pro DIY hair I am. I am happy to give you all the at-home tips and tricks, but unfortunately for a layered cut, one snip is not going to do it. So I figured I would test out the 3 main TikTok hair hacks that I've been seeing that you probably want to know whether they work or not. I'm going to be testing out 2 different hair hacks, one on each side of the head. And then the other hack we're going to be testing is the 2 chop curtain bangs. So basically you make 2 snips and you have perfectly cut curtain bangs. So if you're excited for this video and want future hair hacks and hair tips, please go ahead and click that red subscribe button. It helps me out a ton and it doesn't cost you a thing. And it just basically notifies you on your feed when I've uploaded a new video. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, so let's just start with the one that I'm the most skeptical about, and that is the curtain bangs 2 chop haircut. So basically all they do is separate the hair in the center so that you have 2 even sections. So now the next trick is that you just over direct them. So basically crisscrossing them and chopping at the same level. And that over direction is going to create that soft, rounded, beveling, layered look that you need for the perfect curtain bangs. All right, so I'm just going to try and establish a length. So I'm thinking kind of lip level here, and I'm going to elevate them to about the same angle. But other than that, I'm going to try and not be too hairdressery about it and just do those quick snips. Okay, snip 1. I'm going to restrain myself from going in there and point cutting because that's naturally what I want to do. And the exact same thing, bringing that over about that same over direction, level, out, and out. So now let's see if these kind of midpoints align. Pretty good. And basically what we're looking for is this kind of soft roundedness here. So I'll just very quickly, very minimally style it the way I would if this haircut was completely done and just see how it looks. But overall, just seeing this kind of slope of the cut, it's not terrible. So I figured this one would work enough, meaning it's not going to look terrible. You're not going to get this weird uneven cut that you know, really need to correct. Okay, so just added a little light flexible hairspray. Overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because you're not going to really mess up your hair. You're not going to get this weird kind of length of hair that you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? Does it work? Yes, for the most part. Would this look better if it was point cut and the slant a little bit higher? Absolutely. But overall, it works. All right, so next I'm going to be testing out some hair hacks on myself. So I've not really done much to the styling today because I just wanted it to be kind of a natural-ish. So what I'm going to be testing out on myself is ways to add waves to the hair that are a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. So the first one I'm going to be doing is using a straightener. I'm going to be using the Dyson Corral straightener. You guys have seen me use this before on my channel. It's an amazing tool. Basically, this is instead of, you know, grabbing the tool and just like wrapping and getting that like effortless wave. This is about wrapping it more than once around the barrel, and then you're just gonna glide it down and you're gonna end up with these beautiful waves. Now, just right off the bat, is it gonna work? I have a heat tool. I'm gonna be gliding the hair through it in a curly pattern. Duh, Of course, it would be weird if it didn't work. Now, just right up front, my hairdresser judgment from this is, why complicate things? I feel like when you're wrapping it, you're not really having control. Sure, it's easy that once you have it wrapped around the hair, you just glide it through and you have this magical curl. I can see how on camera that looks pretty magical, but just more artistically, I like to look at a piece of hair and envision how I want that wrap or that wave to be so that I can predict how it's going to fall. Curling the hair for the sake of it just being curled, to me, isn't that exciting, because looking at a single curl, it can be like the most beautiful curl, but if it's not sitting right on my hair, it's not right. It's the same problem I have with those tools that like you just grab onto the hair and it sucks the hair into this like little ball kind of mechanism, and then you pull it out and you have this like perfect spiral curl. But it'll just be fun to see how a different technique will give you a different result or a different look. And who knows, this look may be what you're looking for. So I'm going to be really brave and just start in the front. So I believe that you wrap it in this way and then you just come down. Oh boy. Okay, so we definitely created a wave. Not in the direction I would have wanted, but it's a wave nonetheless. Okay, let's just keep doing it. I'm gonna do my whole left side of the head with this technique, and then I'm gonna be using a different technique on the right side and kind of compare which one is best. Again, wrapping the hair in and through, and maybe I should do this slower so that it can really just grab onto that beautiful wave we're creating. Okay, I need to take this seriously, right? Okay, there's a second wave. I need to be more optimistic about this. All right, next section. We're doing this. Again, grabbing that hair in, pulling it through, and then slowly gliding that down the hair. Wait, where's the wave on that one? Is it just me, or is this looking worse than when it started? Okay. Again, we're going to be optimistic and we're going to do this. This is kind of the issue, like as a hairdresser, like so many of these things that I'm just like, oh, that's not going to work. And then I don't try it, and I always wonder, like, am I missing out on this like super riveting technique? So this one I'm just going to be wrapping around kind of more traditionally, and I want to see if this gives it a better curl pattern. To me, should give it a much more like spirally kind of curl. So kind of. I mean, that one looks better than the rest, but still not great. Okay, I just want to do one where it works, like even if it's not like a pretty curl, but let's try getting a thinner section of hair. Maybe that will give us a little bit more concentrated heat on that spot and give us a more defined curl. So same thing, wrapping through. Okay. Slowly gliding it down. Okay. That's not horrible. Okay. I like that. I can deal with that. But, so I guess trick is a smaller section of hair. We do that up here with a smaller section. Ooh, she's cute. They do one more just for the sake of giving it another shot. Wrapping it around twice. And I think the more beveling out this way I do, the more tension it gives on the hair. And then the more kind of wrapped it'll look. I mean, what would I give this one? Okay, so, I mean, I want to be nice, and the fact that this took coordination and heat on the hair, I'm going to give it a 3. So for this piece here that didn't curl at all, let's try this one again. Maybe this is the winning piece. And this one I'm just curling the more traditional way. See, to me, it's just so much easier and more predictable. And I can't imagine someone that's just like picked up a tool for the first time is just going to breeze through that. So yeah, for that reason, a 3 out of 10. Now the last one, this is the one that I've been the most excited to try, because if this one works, then it's way more revolutionary because it doesn't consist of adding heat to the hair. So for this side, it's basically setting the hair into like a wave-like pattern. So ideally, you'd probably want to start on slightly like damp hair to set much more of a better wave pattern to the hair. Now, just right off the bat, as a hairdresser, knowing what I know about hair, this one, is it going to create a curl pattern? Absolutely. If you start off with like damp hair and you wrap it around anything, you completely let it air dry, it is going to take the shape of whatever you basically molded it into. Now, where I'm skeptical is the wrapping technique, and I've seen a lot of these that look more realistic, and then I've seen some where the curls are like shiny and bouncy, and they literally look like they were done with a curling iron, and then they just wrapped it this way to make it appear that this is how they got the results. So that's what we're here to demystify. And the technique is to take either a sock, I've seen using the like fluffy belt of a robe, like just over the head, so you can do both sides, or you can use a sock on either side of the head. So basically the trick is placing the sock, I've seen literally grabbing the whole thing and wrapping your whole half of the head around that sock and then just pinning it. I think that's just going to give it like a slight kind of S pattern wave. This definitely is not going to give you that. I used a curling iron to kind of wave out my hair. So in order to get more of that look, what I'm going to be doing, and I've seen this technique be done also on TikTok, is to wrap the hair in kind of alternating patterns. So this front piece I'm going to wrap from forward to back this way. And then the next section, we're going to be doing the opposite. So starting from the top and wrapping under. So basically it's going to look like this rope of hair with a bunch of strands wrapped around it in alternating patterns. So I tried wrapping it upstairs earlier, and it's fairly easy to do in front of a mirror. Now, right now I'm in front of a monitor, so everything is mirrored backwards. So it's going to be a little more challenging, but I don't think the application or the waving method is at all difficult. So I'm going to separate out the first section just so that I have a good kind of establishment on where to place the sock. So I'm just going to place it here, and I'm going to wrap that around the sock. So the more hair you get around, the easier it is going to be to kind of hold in place. And I'm going to grab the next section. So now this one I'm going to curl like towards the face. I like the ends a little bit straighter, so if you have one of these like sticking out, that's fine. So I'm just going to pinch it there and grab the next section. But I do think that just wrapping individually like this, as opposed to grabbing the whole section of hair, is definitely going to give you way more of a like wavy, spirally kind of texture. Next section, see, now we'll do towards the face. Okay, last section. I'm gonna do this one under and over. So now I'm just going to tie these kind of looser ends here. So for sure, this shape will set. If it started off damp and you give it enough time to really set into the shape, it is going to set. Now, what I'm skeptical about is the wave pattern. Is it going to be kind of kinky in some areas? Is it going to have a weird dent that it's not supposed to have? So that's what I'm interested in. So like I said, I would spritz it with some water now, some soft, flexible hairspray. I'm using Ellebangs stretch hairspray, so very soft and flexible, so you can brush it out in a couple of hours. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half to 2. I'm super curious to see whether it's worked or not. So again, I'm not really testing on the kind of hold of the wave, because the longer you leave it in, the more it's going to set into that shape. I'm more so just looking at shape. But let's see if this is taken on shape and if this shape is worth having. Okay. Wow. That is actually really pretty, I think. I mean, it looks very effortless. So like I said, the longer I would leave this in, the more this would be probably a little more prominent, but there's no weird kinks. The wave pattern is really soft. I'm impressed. I like that. I think I'm definitely going to try that. And the other thing too is it's kind of like taking away the frizz, because the hair is kind of compacted around this barrel. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm going to add a little bit of soft, flexible hairspray. I mean, this is the wave I strive for when I do use like a wave wand or anything. Like, this is how soft I want it to be. Wow, I think I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I absolutely did not think that we would be trying a TikTok hair hack that I would give it a 10. So we got my 3 out of 10. I mean, this to me definitely looks like you kind of waved your hair, but maybe kind of slept on it. But I mean, this is pretty. I would be happy if this was like in a hair photo shoot. Yay! This was the whole point of this video. Honestly, I'm just as curious about these as you are. Honestly, I thought this one was going to give me a much more like spirally curl. I thought I wasn't going to love the look, but that it was definitely going to give you like a very defined curl. And that wasn't the case, but this, again, I love. So yeah, here are the 3 tested TikTok hair hacks. And I'm very excited that as a hairdresser, I actually learned something today. All right, guys, that is it for this video. If you enjoy this type of video, and if there are other things that you would like me to test as a hairdresser, whether it be like affordable hair tools, to products, to whatever, please leave that down below. If you're still here and you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, please go ahead and do that. I love you guys so much. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.